in the night patrol. Canine by my side, aching soul. Whip up a storm in the kitchen heat. I'll start the game, never miss a beat. Green thumb in the dirt we grow. Friends with devil dog going toe to toe. Cooking meals fit for a king. Uniform strong, let them freedom ring. Police power, smart and fine. Heart of gold in every line. Serve with pride, protect and show. Life of honor, let it flow. Police power, smart and fine. Heart of gold in every line. Serve with pride, protect and show. Life of honor, let it flow. Patrol the beat around the block. Crime and chaos, we're the shock. Dogs loyal, love them true. Badge of courage, painted blue. Late night calls don't slow me down. In my garden, wear the crown. Cooking meals with flair and fun. The badge I wear, second to none. Police power, smart and fine. Heart of gold in every line. Serve with pride, protect and show. Life of honor, let it flow. Late night calls don't slow me down. In my garden, wear the crown. Cooking meals with flair and fun. The badge I wear, second to none. Police power, smart and fine. Heart of gold in every line. Serve with pride, protect and show. Life of honor, let it flow.
What's up, y'all? Y'all doing all right? I know Des is under the weather right now. If you're a praying person, please send out some prayers for her. If maybe you don't believe in prayers, but maybe you just go through and believe in positive thoughts and what have you, well, send some of them up for her too. She's got feeling under the weather, got a temperature. Just got off the phone with her. Let's see. Hey, good to see you, Demoose. And let me put that in the, oops, I forgot my, there we go. And Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights, good to see you. There we go. That's in the chat. I was just thinking, what was I thinking? I don't know. I get lost so many times in my thoughts. I know Des wasn't going live. I talked to her, said she wasn't going live tonight. She was okay with me going live. And, I've got something I can do on live. I just can't do it today. Not yet. So, coffee, she's feeling kind of rough right now, Denise. Anyhow, hey, I just got through going with my parents out to go, took actually, Tammy met us up there. We went out and ate mug shots. Isn't that interesting now that I think about it? Police officer going to mug shots. Although it's probably thinking of something other than like a mug, but you don't really serve a shot in a mug though, do you? So anyhow, mug shots, popo, it just all seems to work out. But we went through, and I was thinking on the way back, that a person's character is so much more important than their reputation. And you can't judge a character by, hey, Coco, good to see you. Yeah, I saw you earlier in I forget the name of the channel. I'm having one of those brain farts. I went ahead and gave you a mod though, so you can check out these other channels. There's a lot of good people here, so hope you'll make some good connections. I know I connected to everybody in there I could. Let's see, uh, really good homemade chicken soup without the noodles and rice. I hear you. I don't know that I know that I've ever. You're welcome. You're welcome, Coco. But one thing I guess I was also thinking, if you want a YouTube channel, if you have a YouTube channel, which I think most folks come on here have a YouTube channel, be prepared to do more supporting than you get supported, typically. Um, Most of the time, the way, well, most active way that I know of to build a channel is to go through and support somebody else. To get what you want out in this life, you have to make sure that you give enough other people support so that they'll support you back. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. A lot of people go at it with just self-interest at heart, and yeah, I guess you can get somewhere that way. Maybe you may build a better mousetrap, but you can have somebody. Hey, Chef, good to see you, brother. You know, Chef had a really good premiere earlier today on how to make it was a bologna sandwich. I think it's good. Looked good. Made me hungry. Um, oh, my pleasure, brother. My pleasure. I do try to help other folks, and someday maybe it'll lead to something. In the meantime, who cares? Just trying to provide a spot right now where folks can hang out. Yeah, bologna breakfast sandwich. That looked really good. I ain't gonna lie to you, Chef. You know, one of these days, maybe you can make one of those for me. Maybe we'll meet in person. I'd like. Hey, Carnegie, good to see you, brother. Um, maybe. Well, I'd hate to ask you to cook when if we ever get a chance to meet in person. Still, it might look mighty good. I wouldn't turn it down. Um, Carnegie, you at work? Or you off today? He's probably working today. I've taken a week off because recovering from surgery on Monday, and it ain't been too bad. I'm all right. I'll be back at work on. I'll be back at you. I'll be back at work on Sunday, Carnegie. So you can let them know that. I'll be all right. Right now I'm sitting on the pillow. I shouldn't have gone to where we went though. Mugshots had these hard wooden chairs. That wasn't exactly comfortable, but the food was good. Oh wow! I know you woke up at like 12, 2:45 or something like that. Uh, that's a lot of hours, Chef. That's a lot of hours. Um, you know, it's how many days a week do you work that many hours, brother? Um, that would be, that's hard to. Uh, Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you coming in. You miss aggravating me. Well, this week has been pretty kind of strange anyhow because Eddie has not been aggravating either. He's been playing nice. Jerry over at Butler Phantom Phones bet him he couldn't go a week without annoying me. Do 10 hours. Oh, wow. Well, at least you get some good overtime. I keep telling them if they'll let me work 12 hours a day, I'll work every day, 6 days a week. I still want that one day off. But, every now and again, a day of 12 and 13, that's still rough. Um, hey, I know. I've worked long days like that. They ain't no joke. It's hard on the body, especially when you got a family at home, somebody to spend time with. Um, that you have to spend time away from, so that you have to spend time away from to be at work. I'm okay, Carnegie. I appreciate you asking. Um, don't you don't miss them hours? I don't blame you. Well, I am too, or I tend to be. I have been making a lot more money here since I started working 64 hours every week. So, but they won't let me work. They won't let me work 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day. They want 2 days at 16 hours. And that's, you know, that's why you go in early. Hey, I understand. I get it. Well, I hope those drunken chef rubs leads to something. Hey, Sue, Bud Files. Maybe I should put this over here so I can actually see the chat without having to look to the side. Now, let's see, pop out the chat. That way the chat will be right there in front of me. That's better, I think. I don't know. I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. You know, I like to look at things and try to figure out what works and what doesn't work. One time I got to looking at my averages, and in order to, based on averages, if they held up over time, I would have had the Cute Critters channel monetized inside a little over 2 months. But that, so you remember, thank you, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Chef. I got to figuring it would take, I don't remember what it was. It's like 1,000 videos over the course of 3 months. I'd have to sit down and do the math, but it was very doable with a little room to spare. If I did one short every week, every day, every hour, drop one short every hour on the hour. The first day blew up, had 34,000 views in one day. It was crazy. And that wasn't any one video doing 34,000. It was a lot of little videos doing it. But it started dropping back after that. The hours went from 34,000 to like 20,000 or something like that. 22, 25 maybe. I don't remember what it was the second day, but it kept decreasing. And so it was hard to maintain that rate. When I started doing it was 1,700 views, 1,700 views per video. And that's what I was averaging. But hey, it is what it is. And I really ain't got nothing to tell you tonight. I'm more than happy to discuss whatever y'all like to discuss. If anybody, for that matter, has an idea what they care to discuss. I don't even know, let's see. Hey, James, good to see you. Hey, James, I know you have some very different views from me, at least it seems to be. You're welcome to come up on panel and be glad to talk to you over the thing. In fact, I see you got 19. You don't have any content, but maybe this will be your first content if you feel like coming up. But I just sent you I believe that was you. I just sent a pretty long, response. Let me look. I could be wrong. I often am, for that matter. No, I don't know. It's, are you Terran Marine too? I understand, and I'll tell you this: that Penny fella, he was a hero, Daniel Penny. Yes, he was a flat out, hero. In fact, you can't see it right now, but I got skin pimples, whatever, chill bumps up and down my arm just thinking about it, because that man, he put his, he went out of his way to help other people. And my family, as you'll notice in the comments, is very pro-military. I got a love for the military. I tried to join the military, try to join the Marines. My buddy Eddie, my best buddy on here, Eddie is a Marine. Punishment doesn't anything. The process is the punishment. Yeah, hey, I know. I know, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to go get into the whole political thing, because My buddy Des is here, and she hates it when we talk politics, but I blame politics. Um, I honestly do. The I don't like politics. I don't like talking about politics or religion, but that don't mean I don't have my own views. That don't mean I don't have my own the way I see things. But there are good people and bad people. I heard people last night. I think it was last night. Could have been this morning, early about 1 o'clock in the morning, talking about how California this and California that. There's good people in California. I've got friends. I got personal friends that I've known since 1980, 1978, somewhere in that area, that live in California. They moved there. Of course, I was sad to learn that there was a lot of stuff happening. See, how bad can a Viva Fry from Canada, a lawyer split Canada? I don't understand that, James. I'm sorry, I don't. How bad is Canada? Viva Fry. Viva Frey. I'm not even sure I'm saying that right. From Canada, a lawyer split Canada. Now, it seems like I did hear something about somebody was wanting to take a vote to split from Canada. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Viva Free, maybe. I don't know. That was last night. Was the first, or maybe this morning. It's the first I'd ever heard of that. So, I just thought, the whole thing was a joke, to be honest with you. Stuff like that's what leads to civil war. I think it's what led to the civil war here in the U.S. But I also know that people do have a tendency to change. Society has a tendency to change. We tend to swing from one side to the other. It does go typically from liberal to conservative, back to liberal, back to conservative. It's just a question of time and who's in control at that time. So, I try not, believe it or not, I try not to pay attention to any politics. And if I can't pay attention to the U.S. politics, well, I'm not going to pay a whole lot of attention to, hey, John, to those of Canada. Good to see you hunting and stuff with Jay and Jack. Hope you're having a good evening. See, Jason, good to see you, brother. Good evening. I'm going to have a sip of water. Okay, maybe that's more of a drink. But I do know for a fact that most people just want the same thing. They want to live in peace. They want to have a roof over their head. They want to have food in their belly and to feed their family. I don't know why that's so difficult to obtain, honestly. Maybe it's just differences of, well, if everybody'd leave everybody else alone, I think we'd be a lot better off. Yes, Des, I hope you get feeling better. See, Green Gordon, I remember seeing your name. Alberta was already having a referendum on separation. The agreement is already done. It will be announced soon, I'm sure. I'll throw the political balance out in the USA. It will throw the political balance out in the USA. Okay. Been through a lot of stuff, and they say booze and tobacco are the worst. But they put people quitting that on different drugs like Dr. Scratch and Sniff from Animaniacs, in my personal experience. Well, I will tell you this, that when I was a young'un, I had a real problem with, well, I didn't have a problem with drinking. I just did it all the time. To me, there was, I didn't have any breaks, and I led a very hedonistic lifestyle. So, I was chasing women, drinking, dancing, You know, till I met Tammy, I don't know how many different women I went through. Women, young ladies, whatever you want to call them, they were all, uh, you know, around my age. Well, some of them were a little older. So as long as the pretty one was pretty, it didn't matter to me. I was looking for love, looking for somebody to spend a lot of time with, maybe get married. These days, I tend to be a little bit more pessimistic about the state of marriage. 70% of divorces these days are asked for by the woman in a relationship. That is between a marriage between a man and a husband, or a husband and wife. You know, um, I assume that means man and woman these days. You can't ever tell. But I know women do marry women, men. You know, I don't know the statistics on that, how often that happens or anything. But it's not exactly been something I've been interested in looking into. But I see some things, and uh, hey, I just want to know, you know, statistics. Well, what do they say? There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. So I tend to lean towards statistics. And my buddy Eddie, who is also known as Devil Dog, and let me drop his link for that matter. Um, well, I clicked on the wrong thing. At Devil Dog. He's easy to find. Although, you know, I always describe him as having a heart of gold, but he's got a personality like a cactus at times. Um, so my point is called a drug medicine. It's just a word game, in my opinion. I can accept that. I can tell you I work at a mental institution, and I do know that some of the people that end up going to different sections. Well, that's all right. That's good. Um, in fact, I understand being skeptical. Um, hey, Poker Rossi, good to see you, brother. Hope things, and you're in Belgium, ain't you? Whole mess is keeping me awake at night. Well, don't let that keep you up, Green Gordon. Honestly, the fact is, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, and it may be just from societal changes, or it may be from just whatever's. Hey, Clarissa Hendershot, good to see you. Norway, that's right. It's Luke is from Belgium. Luke the Great is from Belgium. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Sometimes I get, but hey, I'm telling you, Green Gordon, don't let it bother you. Things are just going to, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. In fact, there's a prayer, I think, and I know not everybody believes in prayer. I do, but not everybody does. You know, I consider myself a Christian. Let's see, it's called the Serenity Prayer. And let me go, let's see, what is the full serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Basically, it points out the fact that there are things in this life that we cannot change. Doesn't mean you shouldn't stand up for what's right, but sometimes you have to accept things the way that they are. And so, hey, I'm just throwing out some pearls tonight, some pearls of wisdom. At least I feel like that was a pearl of wisdom. So, it's just like I was telling James just a little bit ago. I believe it's a person's character that matters more than anything else. You're going to have bad people and good people, basically every walk of life. You can't tell whether somebody's a good person or bad. You can't tell that they're a good person just because of the color of their skin. You can't tell if they're a bad person just because of the color of their skin. You can't tell if, you have to get to know them and what they stand for, what they believe in. That's what matters. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get along with everybody that's, like or different than you. It just means that, it does so happen that, Eddie tends to be a lot like me. God granted me the wisdom to know I've got a good fight for my nation's sovereignty before I get rid of serenity. I can accept that. Um, and I think you should. Um, you have to know that's right. And I don't know. I've often heard it said that you should not. Hey, Cam Chapman, good to see you. Um, I don't know that a person should be judged by their very best or their very worst actions. Well, if it just happened once, maybe if they repeat it, it shows a character flaw or character. Well, what's the opposite of a flaw? Asset, maybe. I don't know. But you do have to get to know somebody for a little while before you can, make a personal judgment. I think, for that matter, how many people, I was just talking about divorce. People do get divorced. I've been married 36 years. Um, and there have been moments when I've thought about, why am I here? But, the more a person is devoted to what their path is, um, the more they're willing to accept that maybe they have to compromise on some things. Or maybe you have to just accept that the other individual is going to be who they are, and you have to accept that. Because sometimes, after all, if everybody was the same, exactly the same, it'd be a real boring place to live. So I'm thankful for my wife. I love my wife more today than I did when I met her. Um, she's good people. Doesn't mean we don't have arguments, because we do. My parents have arguments too, and they've been together over more than 60 years. You wasn't angry last night, just sick of worrying about this. I get that, and that's the way I took it, Green Gordon. While all out sovereignty is at risk, maybe all out sovereignty is at risk. We're still putting out fires. That that's I understand, and I think they still have fires out there in California. I don't know. Maybe I should ask Google. Hey Google, where'd the Google go? Have y'all been playing with my Google? Oh, I know some dogs are gonna be in trouble. The dogs pulled my Google off of the table. Y'all in trouble. Just wait till Daddy gets finished with his. He's gonna have a stern talking to you. Don't yawn at me. I love you though. I do. It's tough love though. Understand? Uh, let's see. Yes, Canadian water bombers are fighting is still, and give them money away to use the IMF central banks it's complex. I don't know what IMF central banks are. I apologize for my ignorance. Well, I mean, the fact is that there's a lot going on in the world, and it's hard not to get caught up in it. Um, I will tell you this, for my own peace and sanity, I've quit paying attention to it for the most part. You can't help but catch some of it because there's always somebody that's going to be talking about something. There's always something that's going to show up on this, that, or other, whether it's on your YouTube feed or I watched a show called Social Dilemma, and Social Dilemma talks about the algorithm that they have on things like, like on Facebook. It knows, and it typically will show you that someone that starts watching this particular thing, they talk about, what young girls watch, and apparently a United Nations crapola. Okay, it's not Constitution. All right, International Monetary Fund. Okay, um, well, I'd be lying if I said I knew much about that. Um, I know, again, kind of goes back to, I think the government spends a lot, and I can't say, for Canada, I can't even say for the United States. Apparently, it just started pouring down rain here, though. But I do know that, America spends a lot of money on things that they ain't got any business spending money on. I think they spent a couple 100,000, maybe 300,000 on AI smart toilets. How foolish is that? Like you need a toilet to know what it's supposed to do. I don't know. The fact is that they're talking about this crisis that we have in with the Social Security. They're saying it's going to be bankrupt by for allowing the world trade. Okay. Again, Greed and Gordon, I know very little about that. And that's well over my head and above my pay grade. But fair trade, I don't know what to tell you on that. I tend to look more around the stuff around me, pay more attention to the folks that I am directly in contact with. And there are those individuals I know in my real life, our USN makes it possible. United States Navy, I don't know. I've been watching some stuff on military history lately. United States Navy, there we go. God bless our Navy. And God bless our military, whether it be Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines. Those individuals, well, a lot of them have died for this country, given it all. My uncle did. I'm not even sure what he was died in the Army up in Vietnam. Never really got a chance to know him, but I know my father and two of his three brothers served in the Army, so we're pro-military. Sweet, come on, come up. Come here, Nikki. Come on, Nikki. All right, you don't have to. She just stands there and looks at me like, doesn't bark, doesn't say much. But anyhow, let's see here. Oh wow, we are past 30 minutes. I wasn't sure how long. I still don't know how long I'm going tonight. We don't have anybody else up here on panel, so I guess it's just as long as I can talk. And to be fair, my voice ain't real strong at the moment anyhow. That's okay. If y'all run into Devil Dog, tell him I said sup. I know he was working earlier, but I don't know how many he had to do. Seems like he's doing less work these days, and I don't think it's his, it's what he wants. I think it just ends up scheduled that way. So anyhow, I keep trying to tell him he needs to find something that he can do that will it's not as dependent on other people. Pissed off about a lot of crap. The news and the TV has been lying. Yes, they have. At least. I haven't watched the news though in probably 30 years, at least. Last time I remember was around 1990. I remember watching the news though. Well, here's the thing, James. The legacy news, they have no credibility. One dog comforts me as I make a video. When I'm alone, she hears me talking to myself. I think my dogs do too. Although it's funny, whenever I start live streaming, a lot of times they get up and, especially if I got somebody else on the panel, they'll come over and want me to go play. Nikki is most ardent about that. She'll bring a ball or a squeaky toy over and want me to throw it. Just lost my train of thought. Oh, Legacy News. Legacy News, I don't trust them. Can't believe a word they say. Can't believe what most of the media has. My opinion, they had that whole thing about defund the police. Well, I think they ought to defund the media. In fact, I heard about this one broadcaster. I just saw a thing, came across my feed a little bit ago. Said that one of these big time, I think it's a CNN, somebody that has a thing, 10 o'clock prime time, whatever, in the day, they're moving him from that spot, putting him on like midnight or something. See, a Hungarian man in his 40s miraculously survived when he clung to the outside of a German train. Wow, it speeds up to 282 kilometers per hour. That it seemed I may have heard about that, Pokerossi. That is wild. 22 guy because of the pointless wars and veterans offing themselves. I'm right there with you. Well, I'm hoping that's about the end. I have hopes. We'll see what happens. And I think that help for our veterans is important. Fact is, I think that we ought to try to take care of folks here at home. That's just the way I believe. Best we can. But also, there's some folks out there. There are some folks out there that I don't know for whatever reason don't want to work. I understand if somebody can't, or but hey, I wouldn't mind sitting at home. I'm looking forward to retirement as much as the next guy. Hopefully someday I'll be able to retire. We'll see. After all, the way Social Security's going, I am beneficiary, if you will, or I will benefit from having a pension plan. But even then, I didn't start working with the police department until I was 50 years old. So it's not like I'll be able to work to put in the required 30 years. That should be read. Let's see, left wing radio that should read. Oh, I don't disagree with you, Green Gordon. I don't. My opinion of the media, though, isn't very high. In fact, some of this, here's the thing about it, though. Think about it. At one time, there was 3 channels. I remember when I was young, there was 3 channels you could watch and get news: ABC, CBS, and NBC. And even then, you might have to turn the antenna to get information on there. Be able to retire for 14 years on disability. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that. I know Eddie's working on. He's having to do some work, and he's on disability, military disability, from the Marine Corps. He's doing some things to try and help. But even then, with less and less work, it makes it harder and harder for him to make an honest living. So I don't know. Go back to work if they will hire me. Well, hey, I get that. I turned 60 years old a month ago, a little over a month ago, and turned 60 years old. And, where I'm at, I've been where I'm at 10 years. Well, if you look at retirement, hey, that's an idea. I guess I don't know what field of work you're in. But desk job usually does help. Yeah, there's one of my Nightbot drops for Devil Dog. He is my best friend on here, and he's good people. Social Security gets the finding that's needed if they run low. Oh, well, I don't even know that it's that simple, Green Gordon. I understand what you're saying, but the fact is, most of Social Security is paid for by current FICA taxes that come in. So even though they may have to cut it some, and theoretically, finding, not finding. I'm sorry, I don't understand that. But most of that is paid by FICA. FICA taxes that people are working today. But at one point, it used to be set aside where the government couldn't spend it. Well, what do you think happened? They made it to where, say, they will raise the minimum benefit age or cut benefits further. Yeah, I don't doubt that whatsoever. Funding keeps auto-correcting. Oh, I understand. I hate it when that autocorrect keeps messing me up. In fact, I hate, trying to communicate on my phone because it don't work. It don't ever. I'm a whole lot faster on a keyboard than I am a phone. Some of these young folks, though, man, them thumbs go flying. They can get it about as fast as I can on the keyboard. Trouble is, I can type on the keyboard about as fast as I can think. I'm a redneck. I think slow. I speak slow. So that's just my way. Truth is, I probably type sometimes faster than I can think. When social services need more money, they need to raise taxes and fund it. I do hate smartphones too, James. Well, it's an interesting thing. I know there are things that they can do, and from what I understand, it's due to run out. The actual fund is due to run out in 2032, I think it is, or 2031. Could be 2033, somewhere in that area. It's about the time I plan on retiring. So, that's one reason why I'm working. I'm working 64 hours a week. Part of that is because I'm trying to increase my fingers hit 5 buttons on my. Hey, I understand. I got fat fingers. And they don't want to hit the right thing. Always keeps messing it up. Some of my posts, I have to go back. I've got to where I have to go back and read it. They very well may be, James. I mean, I know AI. My brother's a big fan of AI. He let it pick stocks for him. I think that AI. They're saying that he was telling me tonight how they were showing it how it could show how something is folded to the body to react with drugs or something. I can't tell you exactly what it was. My brother does study a lot on some things, and he could probably has the equivalent of a PhD in religion, and he's good people. So anyhow, but that's what all the hype is. Well, there's also I wonder if they're going to incorporate what is that Kasinov's, three principles or somebody's three principles. Have taxed the wealthy more. Trump has top end taxes too low and the wealthy and bad for the middle class. I don't know. I'm not really one to study taxes, and I know that taxes used to be taxes were only charged to cover the expense of a war, but when we weren't in wartime, they didn't tax once the war was paid for. But nowadays they spend money on most everything. Studying what the effects of COVID were on Russian women. They spent $20,000, to promote drag queens reading to kids down in Ecuador or something like that. Have you ever looked up what they charge, for like screwdrivers and toilet seats in the Pentagon? It's stupid. And that's enough to frustrate me that, every time I work an overtime shift and they take all that money out of my income at that time, it's for stupid stuff like that. Hey, I understand there's things the government needs to be responsible for. I get that, and I respect that. But there's some things government ain't got no point in being involved in. That's part, I guess, that chaps my hide. Anyhow, well, I don't know. Anybody got another topic they want to discuss? I will tell you this, Green Gordon. And I know it's like I was saying earlier to James. I don't judge anybody on on any external factor like that. Wealth is one of them. Um, I don't, building 7, in my opinion. Okay. I don't know what that means, building 7. Um, is that related to like, well, no, it wouldn't be related to Maslow's hierarchy needs. But, I take my brother, for example. My brother, has always made really good money. Is he a millionaire? No. Has he been one of the, has he made a lot more money than I've ever made, when hey, Hugo, good to see you. Uh, he's worked really hard all his life. He's worked 12, 14-hour days to own his own business, to make it successful. I don't resent that. Now, there are people out there that work really hard and they make a lot of money. There's some people that work really hard and don't hardly make anything. Is it fair? Yeah, I think it is. Um, I don't know what fairness has to do with it. It has to do with what somebody has the capability of doing and what they do with their talents as well as their resources. Some people ain't got much in the way of resources. I get that, and it makes it harder. But that's the struggle. Life is a struggle. They announced it failed 4 or 15 minutes before the demo. We demoed it. I don't know what that means. What failed? I don't know. Um, I do know that, you know, as I've said before, and I'll say again, that life is a struggle. Hey, Waylon Smalley, good to see you. Put our focus and prayers on the peaceful transition on Monday. I would agree with that. We don't need, anything stupid going. But that's true. I think that we need to put our. I don't disagree with you, Waylon. We do want a peaceful transition, but we also want every day to be peaceful. We want, we want to be able to get along with one another. Day before Vice President Cheney announced Pentagon lost $1 trillion. Good night. That's crazy. Is that what, they demoed a building and it had money in there or something? Vice President Cheney. Well, Cheney hadn't been vice president for a while, so was that thinking back maybe under George Bush, maybe? I don't know. It wasn't Bill Clinton, I don't think. Who was president? Oh, Al Gore was president, vice president. The next day of 9/11. Oh, wow, I did not know that. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. Well, I just think that we ought to be more responsible. And the way things have been going, we're not going to be responsible, or hadn't been responsible. I think that those individuals get elected to Congress, even if they weren't beforehand. I think that a lot of them got their fingers in the pie. And how else can you explain to me they got all that money? By working at a government service. Contracts were building, those contracts were in Building 7. Okay. Again, I'm kind of lost. Who do you think was behind it and why? Nothing was benefit to free world corporations nor Americans. Why was a benefit to free world corporations? I don't know. Hey, I've never been much of a conspiracy person, but I'm willing to listen. Those wars on Pentagon versus CCP, that's the Soviet Socialist Republic or whatever. A long time, I think. Don't know. The Confident Quilter, Gladys L. Paul. Good to see you. y'all make sure y'all check out, some of these other folks and some of these channels. We got some good people in here. I'm fairly new to James and Green Gordon, just ran into them. They are giving me a lot of information I can provide my own personal feedback on. But some of the subjects, I'm afraid I don't know much about. And I know 9/11 was a pretty long time ago, but I also know that right after 9/11, there seemed to be a lot of agreement with the country. In fact, there's a country song out there that talks about "Have You Forgotten?" Here it gets made in India and China, horse pucky further in. Okay. The Buddha Chaser, hi y'all, good and blessings with new happenings coming. Sounds like a winner. The good to see you, Jason. Jason's dropping his link so y'all can go through and connect with him. I know Jason and have known him for quite a while. He's good people. Wow, you've put out a whole lot of material in a very short period of time, Buddha Chaser. But you've grown pretty quickly. Let's see what I always like. Try to check out new channels. 29 chat. Yes, you can. Thank you for letting them know, Jason. I appreciate it. Been around different names. Okay. I don't know what that means. Well, I mean, different. The same channel's been under different names. Oh, you're a former gamer. Okay. I used to play video games. Not that I guess that makes me a gamer, or was. I got tired of it, quit playing. I got upset because they nerfed all the stuff I'd worked so hard for. Well, the things I'd been retired, or not things I'd been grinding for, and I started doing some gardening and then YouTube. So this is a little different for me. And well, still, congratulations. Only 107 videos. I am a little wary of that 666 subscribers, though. Seems like we need to get you one more so you'd be at a different number. Hang on. I can't help there. All right, there we go. You're at 667 now. Same, I don't like it. Well, I played a game most folks probably don't think much of these days anyhow, Destiny. I used to play Destiny and I put over 2,500 hours in like a little over a year. Pest control video to private show I have not received strike. They would give you a strike for that, Jason? Okay. I will recognize you. Well, come on up and panel. I honestly, I don't know much about a lot of things, Buddha Chaser. And there's this, and I tend to be a little oblivious, I'll tell you that. There was, I'm uploading to Rumble. Cool, I thought about doing that, but I just guess I'm just too, not motivated. I've gotten strikes for trapping mice and rats. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Put it this way, I got no doubt, probably everybody out here probably knows before lifestyle changes. Okay. You ever heard of Taylor Swift? I couldn't pick her. I mean, I've seen a picture of her, but honestly, I couldn't pick her out of. Oh, okay. Hey, Pixel Chick, I know you. Yes, I do know you. I didn't know you were a gamer though. Still, it's good to see you. Still, I'm your 667. I was already subscribed to you. Under two of my channels, I had to find a third channel. Well, congratulations. I'm proud to hear you. She is a sweetheart. Sweet young lady. I say, young, even though she's all grown up. I'm 60 years old now. So anybody younger than me is young. So the older you get, though, I'll tell you this, the more likely you are to realize the shorter the time is ahead of you. And you start thinking about that type of thing. So hadn't been on console in 3 years. I probably hadn't either. Um, I tend to have one obsession at a time. And right now it's really more of, it tends to be more of YouTube. See, wrenches, repairs, and prospecting. Howdy, howdy. Oh, that's so awesome. I appreciate that. Let's see here. All right, let me make you a mod so you can. Whoa, I'm sorry, I did the wrong. I accidentally hid you, but I'm fixing it. I'm making you a. Why is that not working? Oh, I think I changed the wrong thing. Hang on, give me a second. I had it under the wrong thing. Uh, it's not. Hang on. What's wrong with this? Hang on just a second, wrenches, repairs, and prospect. I'm so very sorry. I did not mean to do that. I meant to add you as a mod. Let me go through and find you again, and I'll fix it. Hang on. I know I've got it up here. All right, here we go. All right. Add as a moderator. There we go. That's what I meant to do, and there it is. All right. You are now a mod. Yeah, he's back though. I see him now. I'm so sorry about that. Hey, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm a bad YouTuber. I'm not very good at it. I make a lot of mistakes. I put a lot of effort in, but typically for not. I'm scatterbrained. I'm old and I'm forgetful. I take a torvastatin. Can't keep a thought in my head half the time. But I do believe in helping other folks, reach their potential as best I can with my inadequate resources. So, well, James and Green Gordon, I appreciate you coming in. I tend to, want to get to know folks a little bit before I make them a mod. Region Repairs, it seems like I've seen him before, and he does one thing that does lend itself towards, modding is, see, do you do prospecting video? Oh, you're talking to wrenches, repairs, and prospecting. You live on an abandoned gold mine. That's cool. Typically, if I see, content, it indicates something like, they're interested in building, relationship or building their channel. Let's see. And so no one arrested you for it. Oh, there's no doubt. No, you're right though. It's a good thing you don't get arrested for being incompetent. Because I'd been arrested a long time ago. Now I am thankfully a lot better at my job than I am YouTube. But YouTube, hey, when you've got somebody, coming in, somebody going out, somebody dropping off a gun, somebody picking up a gun, you've got a phone call being made, you got 3 different calls from 3 different. I can handle that. I'm used to it. But, Lord knows when it comes to trying to follow the chat, follow the conversation, and follow, checking out this channel, make sure, that's not, in fact, I saw a situation earlier today where somebody, kind of went off on somebody. Distracted me imagery. Good to see you, Debbie. I was watching somebody's live stream today, and they hit somebody on their chat. And I know who you are, Debbie. I don't know you real well, but I know you enough. But I was watching today, and the person had made a comment in their chat, said, what was it? Something to the big fan. Thank you, big fan, or something like this. And I think they took it as that person being a troll, so they hit them. I think it was, personally, I would never do that myself. In fact, there have been times when people have made comments that struck me as being kind of anti a lot of the things I believe in, but I'm accepting of those viewpoints because, we live in the United States of America, and you're supposed to have the opportunity to pursue happiness, and that looks different for different things. I am accepting of other people's views. I don't presume that my way is the only way. But, oh, cool. See, y'all know Demi too. Cool. Well, I run across people, and I know Demi was a mod in another channel as well. At least if I remember correctly. Hard to say. Again, I'm scatterbrained. I'm old. So anyhow, my voice seems to be giving out. We've been live a little over, or just over an hour. I want to thank y'all for coming in. If you do pray, please send some prayers up for my friend Des. She's having some infection, I guess. She's got problems with her throat, with her legs, and we just want her to feel well. If you're not a praying person, if you don't believe in God, and you don't believe in prayers, maybe you believe in positive thinking and positive thoughts out there. So please send some up for her. With that, I'm gonna end it. Let me go through and recognize the folks that's been in the chat. Distracted me imagery, Demi. I'm not sure how to say that. Green Gordon, thank you for coming in. Peaceful Des, much love. Poker Rossi, good to see you, brother. The Buddha Chaser, good to see you, Pixel. Good to see you. I'm certainly glad to learn your new channel name. The Confident Quelter, it's great to see you as well. Caldy, hey brother, good to see you. I'm sorry you're catching us right here at the end. By the way, Caldy, if you would type a 29 in the chat. Caldy is another Mississippian, somebody else from my channel, or Caldy is somebody else from my state, and he does a lot of stuff with music. And y'all make sure y'all. Hey, I appreciate that. Go check it. Make sure y'all check out Caldy. Don't put the sign after it though, Caldy. The cable company. Good to see you. Everybody's showing up right as I'm in here. Well, not everybody. We've still had a lot of awesome people here. Good to see you, cable company. Honestly, Caldy, type 29 with no backslash or forward slash, and just put that in there. Well, hang on. I'll just go to it and do it myself. Let's see here. Let me put the chats out there. All right, there we go. Caldy's just dropped his. And let's see, we also, let's see, where was it? The cable company. Hopefully you did the same thing, or I'll just drop it. Y'all make sure y'all connect with these folks, or at least check out their channels. I found them to be enjoyable to spend time with. Good people. And and distracted me imagery, you put it in there too. There's a lot of folks that may be here, a lot of times they're here, that hope connect with you. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see you, in the future. Sorry for having such a short live. I just it's, hey Wanda E, good to see you. Always a pleasure, Wanda. But without anybody else here on panel, my throat's starting to give out. I can't talk forever, much as I feel like it, and much as a lot of my family probably thinks I can, but I can't. Well, thank y'all for coming in. God bless you. We're going to end in 3, 2, 1.